breath there because things are a little bit crazy in this country right now. In a good way. The positive energy is palpable, as it were. Now, I'm not going to talk about politics because that's not what we are here for, Muse. Instead, what I am going to talk about is writing. That's right. Well, actually, not just writing. I'm going to talk about art in general. Maybe not. I don't know. And why am I talking this way? Possibly because we have been watching, I can't even remember the title of it. It's the Great British Baking Show. We've been watching it and loving it, which was really surprising to me because I'm not a big fan of baking. But my wife is, and she wanted to watch it. And so I started watching it with her and found myself enthralled absolutely in what was happening. And I don't even like reality TV, but I sure do like the British accent, which is why I'm talking to you this way right now. Anyway, I'm going to stop. Okay, look. I had no idea what you and I were going to talk about today, Muse. But I started thinking about what you and I talk about. And how many times I have approached you and attempted to offer up a little bit of advice on writing or acting or anything that has to do with the arts. And I thought, maybe I need to talk about talking about the arts or something like that. And then I realized, because I started going back through my history, being an actor and being a writer, and I started thinking about how many books I've read on writing and the inordinate amount of books I've read about acting. Almost written a book about the craft of acting, which I probably still will do at some point. And then I remembered one of the things that I always talked about in my acting classes on one of the first days. And I'm going to tell you what that is right now, because I think it's important that every artist not only hears this, but understands it. I would go into my acting classes on the first day, and I would say something akin to this. Throughout this semester, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hand you a number of tools that could possibly help you in your journey to becoming a better actor. Now, not all of these tools are going to work for you. Some of them will, some of them won't. And along the way, you're probably going to pick up other tools from other people, other teachers, other books, other actors, directors. Now, what's important for you as an individual actor is to take those tools, take all of the tools that I've given you and discover which ones work best for you. So you have this artist's metaphorical toolbox, right? And you open that toolbox up and you look at everything that I've given you as a teacher and you say, I like this, I'm going to put it in my toolbox. I like this, I'm going to put it in my toolbox. I like this, but maybe I'm going to take this and put them together, mash them up into a nice little melange of something different, and I'm going to put it in my toolbox. Now you're going to close that toolbox. All the other things that I gave you, not in your toolbox, because they don't work for you. So now, when you go out into the professional world as an actor, you've got this toolbox. You start a new rehearsal for a show and you go, I need to open my toolbox and see what's in there. And you look in and you dig around and you go, oh, this right here, this will work perfectly for this role. But not that piece. No, that one won't work. This one, I might try that one. And you're going to mush them all together into a nice gumbo of skills and tools. And you're going to throw them up in the air and they're going to land on you and you're going to be brilliant. And then the next time you go into the first rehearsal, you're going to peek back into your toolbox and go, which tools in here that I have collected over the years will work perfectly for this role? See what I'm getting at, Muse? Look, you can read every book ever written about how to be a good writer or about how to sell your books. And the one thing you have to understand, even Stephen King's book on writing, which is absolutely wonderful, which every writer should read, even that book worked for Stephen King. It might not work for you because your process is not the same as Stephen King's. That doesn't mean there aren't bits and pieces in that book that you can't use. But what's important to you as an artist, is to discover how to discern which of those pieces work for you. I can read anybody's book on writing or anybody's book on acting at this point in my life. Now, understanding I have been an actor for over 30 years. I've been a writer for over 20 years. I can read any one of those books and immediately go this, and this. And that will not work. Not for me. I can open up an acting textbook and within the first few pages I go, nope, won't work. Not for me. I could pick up another acting textbook and go, yeah, this is good stuff. Flip, 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 flip. Not that. Flip, flip, flip. Yes, definitely. Flip, flip, flip. Maybe. Same thing for writing. And but that comes from a point of view where I know what works for me. Or I know how to find, or I know how to spot the things that could possibly work for me. Because I certainly, my process is not finalized. It's not perfect. As an artist, one of the most important things that you do is always grow, is always learn, always evolve. Because if you don't, if you reach that one point in your life where you say, I've learned it all, I have nothing else to learn, everything I do is perfect, then you probably need to look in the mirror and go, what is the truth here? Do I really know it all? The answer is probably no. So you have to always approach your artistry with the idea that there's something new to learn. But that doesn't mean that even the greats have something to teach you. That doesn't mean everything out of Stephen King's mouth will work for you. You, seriously, remember this. You could read Stephen King's book on writing and learn absolutely nothing that applies to you. You could then turn to some indie author and read a tweet that they've posted on Twitter that they've said about their process and go, oh my gosh, that is perfect for me. I need to do that. That will help my writing so much. You never know where the inspiration will come from. It might not, the best inspiration for you as a writer might not even come from another writer. And that, my friends, is what being an artist is all about, is being able to find inspiration from sources that might be not questionable, but might not apply under normal circumstances. You could walk outside today and you could accidentally watch a child playing like magic. Watch that child playing. And in the act of playing, you could learn something about your craft. It's happened to me as an actor. I remember I was walking through a retail store and I happened to spy out of the corner of my eye a child playing in the toy section. And I watched, and what I saw was someone who had given over to this task, given over to what they were doing with such abandon that everything else disappeared. And I realized in that moment that I needed to, as an artist, be able to commit to my artistic endeavors with that level of commitment. I know it sounded redundant, but I needed to be able to dive into my artistic endeavors with that kind of commitment. Because truthfully, for me, that's what it takes. To almost be able to go, all I see is that in front of me, which is the one thing that I'm doing now, the one book I'm writing right now, the one role that I'm actually rehearsing in right now. Sometimes I have to do that. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I can just let the blinders go and look all around and go, where is the inspiration coming? Just let it flood. Let it flow on in. So even as an artist, even as a writer, even as an actor, every time you start a new project, it's going to be different. The process is going to be different. And if you aren't open to that, you're going to pigeonhole yourself. You're not going to grow. So don't assume that an A-list writer has the perfect advice for you. Understand that good advice can come from anyone. Anyone. And don't narrow your process to an obsessive level, as in, I have to do it this way. I have to write my outline. I have to write the first draft. I have to go back and reread and rewrite the first draft. Then I've got to rewrite it again and blah, 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 blah. Let it be organic. Let your artistic process be organic. You might not like that idea. You might fight it tooth and nail. But trust me, if you allow even the slightest bit of organic process to happen, you're going to evolve. And if you listen to other writers, if you find inspiration and advice from sources other than the big 4 or 5 writers out there who have written the single most popular how-to writing books on the planet, if you look from other sources, you're going to find inspiration and advice that those 5 might not have thought of because it's never applied to them. The world is massive now. The possibilities are endless. Don't limit yourself as an artist. The second you limit yourself as an artist, you limit your creativity. You limit your output. You limit your imagination. You can't do that. I always tell every actor that I ever taught to look at the world through child-wide eyes. And the things you will experience and behold will shock you. And above all else, listen to your muse. Because if you don't listen to your muse, you ain't listening. Anyway, Muse, it's a short conversation today, but I think I've said everything I need to say. Now, all of those writers and actors out there should go and look for new places to find inspiration and advice. They're everywhere, trust me. Advice and inspiration is everywhere. 360-degree stereophonic sound spectacular. It's there. Trust me. And, as usual, it, just like you, Muse, is awesome.